This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. You are welcome to Knowledge Center page. Uh, my name is Dr. Oscar Baishimori, a personal development and life coach from Knowledge Center group that specializes in sharing information, philosophies, strategies, including wellness products that will help you live above mediocrity in every area of your life so that you can live sustainably and earn passive income doing that. Today, pardon me, I'm not in our center today. I'm in the office of Pat Supreme Beauty International. Yes, I'm actually with the president, in the office of the president of NASHCO, Nigeria Association of Hairdressers, Barbers and Cosmetologists in River State chapter. Yeah, this is their secretariat. I'm privileged to have one-on-one meeting and training with the staff. So, and I feel like sharing this information today because there is something very, very important that I want to say here in this video, particularly concerning the incidents that is going on around the country. I'm talking about the ritual killings, young children trying to get involved in ritual uh, activities. I don't want to. I think it is all part of the Yahoo processes they have been talking about. So many people have spoken seriously condemning the act, while some people are justifying it, blaming the government for being the brain, or being the ones that are not taking measures to curtail the act, or being the one encouraging the youth to go into that. Some people on the other hand came up to say that these activities of Yahoo and ritual killing is as a result of some people that are showing off on social media, showing testimonies of their achievements and the rest of them, and that is why the ritual killing that they are proposing that people should minimize their achievements and the rest of them. There are a lot of blames here and there, but here is the truth. Here is the truth. I listened particularly to a lady, Blessing CEO. She said certain things that inspire me. Most time I don't really uh, follow everything she say, but there are certain senses in many things that she says. She particularly talked about her achievements and how she worked her way, even how she made some mistakes and try to look at herself inwardly and move ahead and progress until she get to the stage she is. But here is the truth I want to share today. Testimonies motivate. If you say testimonies don't motivate, you see, the truth about human beings that there are some people that whatever they are afraid to dare, they will condemn it. Whatever they feel they cannot conquer, they use mouth to they will trivialize it. There was a question of life we've talked about. There are a lot of people who don't know something, and what they don't know, they commonize it and they trivialize it. That's called arrogance. In other words, ego plus ignorance is equal to arrogance. What you don't know, and you don't want to admit that what you don't know is important. That's That's sheer display of arrogance. And the problem is that when you know something so much that you don't have time to listen to other opinion, you become ignorant. That's called arrogance plus intelligence. It's called ignorance. You are so intelligent, you know so much that you don't want to listen to other opinion about it. That's sheer arrogance. And that will ultimately lead to ignorance. You will be deprived of valuable information. Testimonies has a role to play. There is something Brian Tracy said, that the mere fact that something has been done is a proof that it can be done. That somebody has done something shows that it can actually be done. I hope the internet is working very well here. Okay. Now, I have a personal life experience to share. I'm a son of a fisherman. My father was a fisherman, and I'm very proud to share my humble beginning, because if you see me now on Facebook, you see my white beards, you see this is a product of hard work. My father was a fisherman. My father is from Ondo State, and my father has been a fisherman all through the coast, Atlantic coast, from Ondo State till Oron. That's where we have engaged in fishing activities. Yes, I was born into the family of fishing. Right, I started my primary school at AJ2, and AJ2 is very close to Agé. We used to trek from Agé to AJ2. Let me leave that part of the story. But the truth is that at a time in my life, I finished secondary school and I went back to fishing. I finished secondary school, I made my papers, and I went back to fishing. Now, as I was fishing, in the process of fishing, my elder brother and I engaged in some fuel selling business. So we're getting fuel from Navy Waterside in Port Harcourt. We were shipping it to the riverine communities and we're selling. Now, during the Abacha era, when Nigeria government started this habit of importing fuel, because that was the highest level of pandemic that hit this nation. The day this country started importing fuel, that was the day a pandemic struck us that we have never recovered from. I don't want to go to that lane. That's not what I'm talking about. But I call that pandemic of fuel importation. It started in the Abacha era, and then there was a fuel scarcity. I was looking for fuel because we would look for fuel, we would buy them in drum in the night, ship them to the riverine community. But there was a day I looked for fuel, I couldn't get fuel. I was trekking along a bad road. I cannot really know the spots. This is an event of a long time. And I saw a young man in a Santana car. A young sharp driving a Santana car. I was fixated. I look at the young man and I look at it and said, this is where I should belong. That thing inspired me. That thing struck me. That this is where I should be. This is the kind of life I should live. Then immediately the question came to me that what I am doing now, can it make me to enjoy this kind of luxurious lifestyle? Immediately, I trekked from Aba Road to Nube Waterside. I don't know whoever can do, because I wasn't having any transport with me. I left, took the boat, got back to a community founded by my father in River State called Ajegunle. Left without telling anybody, straight to Ondo State. I disappeared. I went back to gather all my books. I wanted to go and obtain JAMB form. JAMB has closed, so I went to obtain PTI form, Petroleum Training Institute form. That was the only institution that was selling forms, and that was how my life transformed to today. The day I remember this story was the day I was driving my Honda Accord in 2006 along Aba Road. In 2006, when I was driving my Honda Accord with my wife on Valentine's Day, that was the day I remember the story and I narrated it to my wife. Good stories of people who have made it inspires. People have a choice to choose what they want to copy. You cannot control. You see, there are people whose mind is polluted with bitterness. They can never copy positively. Anything they don't understand, they can never interpret it in a positive manner. Or whatever they don't understand, it must be negative. If you don't know how somebody makes his money, oh, he must be doing ritual. So you too, you want to go and do ritual. You can never see something good and guess it positively if your mind is occupied with bitter thoughts. Most time when we tell people that you have to be happy, that the foundation for wealth is having gratitude for where you are. That's the foundation for wealth creation. So many people felt that it is testimonies of others that have left people to Yahoo. I don't think, and because of that, you say people should not wear nice clothes. People will buy a car and they will not be happy for it. People will build a house, they will not be happy for a house they built. You know how many years they've been toiling before they could achieve that? I have a friend of mine, Mr. Roland Ogudu. Mr. Roland Ogudu, when we met in PTI, his story and my story were similar. Mr. Ogudu was also born into a family of fishing until a boat capsized. Mr. Roland, aka Ambassador Roland Ogudu, please permit me to expose some of your secrets today, because that story need to inspire young people. When they see you living well today, they felt that it's all from the blues. They don't know when you toil. Ogudu was a fisherman. Ogudu went in the fishing, he saw a platform, this oil production platform. You know, normally when you go to Atlantic Ocean to kill fish, we used to dash those people in the platform. Sometimes we give them fish to exchange some spicy foods, you know, because we consider them to be living well. So sometimes we use fresh fish to exchange fried rice from them, sometimes pepper chicken and the rest of them. Ogudu asked that man, what can somebody do to work in this platform? The man said, oh, if you want to work here, all you need to do is to go and study physics, chemistry and biology in your secondary school. Roland Ogudu had that at the back of his mind. But there is a defining moment for him. There was a day their boat capsized. Ogudu Roland stayed 3 days in the Atlantic Ocean until he was rescued by a trawler. A trawler rescued him. That was the day he said bye-bye to fishing and he went back to school. Today now he's an engineer working with Chevron. When you see him working with Chevron, you don't know how he paid the price. When you see people making progress in life, you don't know what the kind of work they have done to get the price, to pay the price. You are not part of the process of the work. All you are seeing is the greatness. The hardest work is done behind the scene. I remember Usain Bolt said that. Usain Bolt said that when you watch a 100-meter race and you are clapping, that the work is not in the race, the work is done behind the scene. The same thing Cristiano Ronaldo, the work is done behind the scene. So when you see people making it, don't envy them. Don't think they have all done bad to achieve that height. And because of that, you want to fast track your progress. You want to go and do what you are not supposed to do. So testimonies of people, you can never be the reason why many people are doing rituals. There are people whose mind has been occupied with bitterness. I agree that we are living in an environment where we have a very wrong reward system. Yes, our reward system is poor. Here, mediocrity, indolence is rewarded. Serial killers can be accorded a chieftaincy title and made kings. Robbers, armed robbers, notorious ones indeed, could overnight become senators, leaders of institutions, and governors and the rest of them. Yes, I realize that our reward system is not helping the youth. The truth is this: you have a choice to choose. You have a choice. You are the one making the choices you want to make. In every story, there is something to copy. I had a story of a man, a very young, successful man. Very successful. He's wealthy, has 4 children and kids. They asked him, I think he has a brother. The two of them grew up under their father. The one that is successful, when they asked him the story of, I think it's Anthony Robbins that interviewed him. That's what is this? How did you make this large wealth? What is the story behind your success? He said, I gave it to my father. Why not for my father? I wouldn't have become what I become. Then his other brother, his first son is in prison. His second son is in prison. Even this his brother is in prison. Anthony Robbins went to the brother in prison and said, how come your life is messed up like this? He said, I wouldn't have ended up like this. Why not for my father? The same father, different outcome. The same father. You are the one choosing. You are the one choosing what you choose to choose. Yes, you are choosing what you choose to choose. And it is not the testimonies of others that is leading you to what you do. You have already made up your mind, looking for justification. You are making up your mind to do bad thing. You have made up your mind that you can never walk the right way up. So you are looking for shortcut. And you know what? There is no shortcut to victory. I have said it times without number. The end does not justify the means. If you achieve unworthy end, if you achieve a worthy end through unworthy means, the means through which you achieve it will compromise the end. Of course, you know of a Senate president in Nigeria here that fought war throughout his tenure because of the process through which he became Senate president. He became Senate president by manipulating a process, and that led to him fighting war until he finished. I'm not supporting any of them, but you can see that there's a Senate president on seat now that seems to be having a field day. Nobody is challenging him. He's not even challenging anybody. Nobody is worrying him. Nobody is threatening him. Why? Because he did not compromise a process. So if you compromise the process to go and get what you want, the process you compromise will end up being the source of your confusion till you are tired of it. At the end of the day, the victory you have in your hand will collapse like a pack of cards. And finally, let me share with you the building block for wealth, because a whole lot of people thought that they don't know the difference between being rich and being wealthy. So many rich people are stressed. The degree of stress that they have. There are people who are trying to pay their bills. They are trying to pay their children's school fees. They are stressed. On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe they are stressed to 8 or 9 over 10. The same way, there are a lot of rich people that are stressed in that same magnitude because of the fear of losing their money. So these are people we call rich poor men. There are a lot of rich poor men in Nigeria. They are poor in health. Some of them are poor in relationship. They have the money. Because they have the money, they sacrifice things that are very important, much more important than the money to get the money. At the end of the day, they find out that what they have is nonsense because of the process through which they get it. So what we are trying to say is that go for wealth. If you go for wealth, you will not compromise process. In that case, you'll be healthy, you'll be wealthy. You will have relationship, quality relationship. I can't imagine. Some of you will come on air and run your mouth to insult some pastors and the rest of them. I call them names. Unknown to you that some of these pastors are not even begging anybody for what they have. People volunteer what they have. There are things that some of these pastors are giving that you cannot give. There are pastors that are paying, some of them are paying more than half of their rent. I know of a church very close to me. Most time, I know of a church very close to me. The pastor is practically carry all the church members on his head, on his shoulders, financing them, sending them to school, paying their bills, responsible for them, for their life in many things. I know the guy is my friend, and there are so many of them in my church. There are I wouldn't even know that my pastor is paying my own pastor, my own church. Of course, if you have been following me, you will know who is my pastor. If you go to, you will know, I mean, that's the only pastor I've celebrated on Facebook. So it is when some families are telling me it is daddy that helped us pay our rent last year, it's daddy that paid the last, that is when I know that the man is carrying load. So some of you will just come here and be running. If you know what these pastors are giving out, some of them don't even have a life of their own. They are living for people. And somebody will just come on air and be true well. Anyway, that's not why we are here. We are not here to defend anybody. But the truth is that the foundation for wealth creation is love. Love. See, you need to be happy. Happiness color what you see. If you are bitter, it will color what you see. And that's why if you don't have a happy mind, even when somebody bring a good opportunity for wealth for you, you can never see it correctly. You will use that your bad mind to interpret it, because your emotion color what you say, what you see. It color what you hear, because you have a very polluted mindset. So you have to open your mind and have a love life. Be grateful for where you are. Some of you are not happy because of the standard you set for your happiness. The rules for you to be happy, the rules you set is too hard. It's making you very difficult for you to be happy because of the rules you set for happiness. What has to happen for you to be happy is the problem. In our own case, the moment I wake up, I can carry my hand, I can lift my hand, I can lift my leg, I'm happy. That's why anything I don't understand, I don't interpret it from negative point of view. No, I don't. And check it. You can check it. Is there any good thing on earth that is created by hatred? Check one thing that is created by hatred. You can never use hatred to resolve hatred. Left to me alone. The problem we're having in this country, the Boko Haram, it is because our love life is very short. We don't have love. To resolve this Boko Haram, you have to engage them and speak to their conscience. A whole lot of people are feeling, they are feeling not loved. That's it. And it is love. Every good thing in the world is created by love. The CAC is love that they used to create it. Every good thing is love. Check it. Car is created by love. Everything is created by love. Every good thing. And the most potent means of resolving hatred is love. That's the only non-effective way of resolving hatred. Is love. The man of God condemned Yahoo boys. It's not even them that he condemned. He condemned their act. He is not condemning them. He cut the root. Is the root he's causing. Whatever led to it. If it is politicians that led to it. So many people cannot understand what the man of God is saying. And some of us, we believe it, we keen to it. Today I'm proud of where I am because I know the process that I went through. I'm proud of the process. I can tell the story. This is the son of a fisherman. If I tell you I'm a fisherman, you will not believe. And of course, you can see First Maurice. First Maurice Venture is somebody who came out of Knowledge Center Group today. First Maurice has, I call him celebrity fisherman because he has expanded the fishing business and made it an international affair. Today, Elijah is in the global map because of the celebrity fisherman, Ori Oyebashimori, the MD CEO of First Maurice Ventures. So you can't afford to be blaming other people for where you are. No, you are the one who choose to copy bad thing from good thing. And that's my epistle. I don't know whatever name we can call it, but I call it epistle, or I call it advice. And like I said, this is Knowledge Center. And my name is Dr. Oscar Baishimori. I have to share this with you because that's my idea, that's my philosophy, that's my way of living. I share